What's up gamers, and welcome back to another Daily Exposed video. Today's culprit is the once beloved edgy YouTuber Idubbbz, who got famous from saying slurs. Yep, he's got the roots of every true YouTuber. If you didn't start off your YouTube career by saying slurs, then I've got news for you. You are not part of the true YouTuber club. Now, if you're not terminally online, you're probably wondering how this once respected YouTuber fell from grace. It all started back in March 2020 when Anisa, Idubbbbz's girlfriend, announced she was making an OnlyFans. This decision sparked a lot of controversy within the Idubbbbz community. Some fans made memes about the situation, while others full out harassed him and his wife for making an OnlyFans, calling him terms like simp or cuck. Even the communist philosopher Karl Marx weighed in on the debate by saying, "Sharing is caring, so I support Anisa's decision." Hello? Wait, what do you mean I can't make stuff up? This is a commentary video. All commentary YouTubers do is make it up. Yeah, listen, Mr. Manager, I'm here for the views, not the reputation. Get on my level. Anyway, after this, Idubbbz responded to the controversy by making a video about why we should respect sex workers and how sex work does not ruin your chance at future jobs, even though it very much can. I don't know, it was a weird video. Flying Kitty's version was much better. The OnlyFans drama eventually died out for the most part, but Idubbbz's legacy as an OG, edgy YouTuber continued to decline. One of the biggest reasons for this is because he slowly got infiltrated with the woke mind virus from his white liberal girlfriend. As we all know, if you don't marry a trad wife or a hard-working husband? Is there no funny term for us men? That's kinda cringe. Anyway, point is, exposure to those infected with the woke mind virus can lead to you developing the woke mind virus as well. That's why it's so important to completely shield children from leftist ideas or those in the LGBT community, or they may become that way themselves, which would make too many minorities and be detrimental to our oppressive societal systems. And as we've learned from the great and wise alpha male Andrew Tate, any woman that shows interest in you is an agent of the state, and sadly, Idubbbz seems to have fallen to the government propaganda. Hopefully this can be a lesson to all Western men out there, that women who show interest in you are agents of the state, and if you don't want to become like Idubbbz, then you better run from them before they turn you woke. On top of being infected with the woke mind virus though, Idubbbz's girlfriend is also extremely cringe. Supposedly she used to be normal, but now she is, something else.
Cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing, don't give a color, I'm bleeding.
Yeah, I guess opposites attract, so she somehow managed to marry an edgelord? God, this timeline is so weird. Speaking of Anisa being cringe though, I saw this short the other day titled, "Idubbbz's Wife is Cringe," that I feel like is a pretty good description of Anisa and Idubbbz's relationship.
Cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing, don't give a color, I'm bleeding. Cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing, don't give a color, I'm
Considering this is Idubbbz's girlfriend, I really can't blame him for getting a vasectomy.
Damn, I feel like I just watched a full-out content cop on Idubbbz, and this was even under a minute. Ain't no way Idubbbz coming back from this one, dog. Not only is Anisa cringe though, she also treats Ian like
I feel like, so for Ian, for example, like, I would say trashy or trailer park would be one, untucked or, like, a bit unorganized and, like, simple, right?
Why?
Well, that goes with trailer trash.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm just saying, it's like, you know, that's what you look for. She would make a good Lacey would make a good
Thanks.
Thanks. You know what Ian would make?
What?
I said, do you know what Ian would make?
What do you mean?
Like, what he would be good at?
What?
You know those, like...
I'm curious to know.
You know, like, in Aladdin, you know, Apu, the, like, little monkey dude who dances on the street for money.
You think... Okay, so you've gone from... Chris, your girlfriend would make a great... You know what my boyfriend would make? A great monkey that dances on the side of the road in third world countries for minor attention and possibly food.
So,
What the
You don't think you'd be well suited for that?
I've also noticed in my research of this topic that Ian is very soft-spoken around her, and she hardly ever lets him talk. While talking to Anthony Padilla, Idubbbbz even says he likes to check out, aka disassociate from his life a lot. That's a pretty big red flag in my opinion.
You know, that's what some people would call meditation.
Yeah.
When you're in that kind of state of overexertion while clearing your mind.
Oh, no, not overexertion. I love to just check out just randomly. Maybe like when I'm driving.
That's called dissociation. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's not meditation.
Yeah, I love doing that.
Now, obviously I don't know everything about their relationship, so I can't say how healthy or unhealthy it is, but it does seem like there are a lot of red flags. Since they are celebrities, though, and are already in the public eye, that means we have every right to dig into their personal life and relationship to get to the bottom of this. What, you thought you had a right to privacy as a celebrity? Pfft, get real. There's also a lot of controversy surrounding Ian's marriage to Anisa back in June of 2021, as Ian took on her last name, which apparently makes him lose his masculinity. Man, y'all are grasping at straws here. I agree they likely don't have a healthy relationship, but taking on someone's last name does not mean you suddenly lose your masculinity. If Anisa made Ian take on her last name, that's a completely different story. But so far, we have no evidence of that being the case. Lots of people from toxic families take on the last name of their partner so as to not be associated with their family anymore. Idubbbbz has even talked about how he had a hard life growing up, so I can see why he wouldn't want to be associated with that anymore. It's kind of funny. The other day I was eating dinner with my family and a few relatives, and we were discussing an extended family member who took on his wife's name like it wasn't even a big deal. It's crazy how when you leave the internet and actually talk to people who go outside, the levels of misogyny and general hatred for others drop substantially. Maybe y'all should try it sometime. Aside from all the Anisa drama though, oh wait, never mind, this next drama still involves Anisa. Oh well. If we fast forward to more recent events, Idubbbbz is now hosting Creator Clash with Anisa, where YouTubers go to work out their differences by punching each other in the face. Overall, a great form of therapy. At the most recent Creator Clash though, the creator Froggy Fresh was kicked out of Creator Clash for training with Sam Hyde, who is an enemy of both Idubbbbz and Anisa, and has actively been harassing Anisa. Okay, yeah, I honestly don't get this criticism. I definitely think they should have been more professional about how they handled the situation, since they handled it horribly, to say the least, and never put out a good, conclusive response on why he was kicked. I think overall, though, kicking him was a valid decision. They just should have been way more open and professional about why he got kicked and whether or not he could be allowed to train with Sam Hyde. This may be an unpopular opinion, but if I was in this situation, I wouldn't want my boxers training with someone who was constantly harassing my hypothetical wife.
Move this man!
Guess I was right. After Idubbbbz Creator Clash ended, he is seen crying while addressing his fans.
Idubbbbz, it was an absolutely hell of a fight. What would you like to say to all your fans and supporters that were rooting for you here today?
I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone. You know, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I really do appreciate the support, and you know, thank you for coming.
Now, it's no secret that crying, no matter the circumstances, is a very feminine thing to do. True men have never cried in their entire life, not even after they were born, and that's how we differentiate between the betas and the alphas in life. In fact, as you can see from this statistically accurate graph, the more someone cries, the more likely they are to be feminine and or a woman. So if you're a male and you find yourself crying a lot, it's time you ask yourself if you're actually a woman. Anyway, Idubbbbz later went on to make a video about why Froggy Fresh was kicked, which did not get the best reception. It wasn't until his apology video, though, that things really took a turn, and the old Idubbbbz fans started to turn on him. The response to his apology was definitely overblown, but good God, this entire video just felt awkward. I'll have my assistant go over that apology video, though. Thank you for the airtime. To start off this video, Idubbbbz discusses how he used to believe that if he changed his content/values, his audience would follow suit, but has come to realize that's not the case. He then goes on to talk about how he believes his content has done a lot of harm to the world, and even refers to his old content as cruel, which I'd say is a bit extreme, but I was never really affected by it either.
I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel, and I've also created a culture of apathy and I don't know, a lot of like cruelty as well. Like, you know, some of the videos I've made have been very, not edgy. I don't think they you know, some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. So I don't want people to, you know, get it confused about, you know, where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
After that, he goes on to diss his Content Cop series, which is a little weird because almost every person he made a Content Cop on 100% deserved it.
The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons and, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Idubbbbz was criticizing some of the worst people on the platform at the time, and the people he criticized always came for him first, so it was fair game. Sure, some of the content cops were a bit harsh, and the whole saying the N-word thing constantly was cringe, but at the same time, they were kind of funny, unlike a lot of modern commentary channels, so it was worth it. He then discusses his insecurity about not being entertaining without using shock humor / being mean, which is a good explanation for a lot of the commentary community, but doesn't make sense for Idubbbz. He did plenty of other content that was more than just edgy humor, and if anything, Idubbbz looks like he's gotten more insecure as of lately. Idubbbz then goes on to express probably the most controversial opinion of this entire video.
I've just always had this dumb philosophy that I'm not responsible for my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out, and that's stupid, and it's led to a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes. And I just want to make it clear that I'm absolutely responsible for my audience. And I guess if you want to look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say I'm not responsible for what my audience does.
All I have to say to this is that no sane person thinks they are responsible for the actions of their audience. You cannot control them or their decisions. If they take your jokes / opinions to extreme levels and harass others for it, that's on them. Obviously, you should call out / discourage bad behavior in your audience, unlike some people. But at the end of the day, that's all you can do. Idubbbz then goes on to drop another hot take by saying,
I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with, and I expect to.
This video is so wild. This dude thinks he should live the rest of his life regretting making some edgy videos. That's one of my biggest problems with this apology video. He's apologizing like he used to own slaves or something when all he did was make edgy jokes. Sure, they were probably harmful to a lot of minority groups, but not to the extent he believes they were. Even the socialist streamer Hassan, who lives in a $2.7 million mansion by the way, thinks Ian is being too hard on himself here.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think Ian is being too hard on himself, for the record. I think he is very clever, and I think he did a lot of great content.
When Hassan is the one telling you that, maybe you should back down a bit. You shouldn't feel that bad about making a few offensive jokes in the past. I know I've said my fair share of offensive, cringy things in the past, especially throughout high school, but I don't think I should live the rest of my life with it. Idubbbz later goes on to apologize to Tana for harassing her at her event.
I particularly want to apologize to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online, and that's deplorable behavior. It's so stupid.
And I mean, to be fair, he definitely harassed her.
Say Nick.
But it's a little weird for him to apologize, considering going to her meetup was Anisa's idea.
The Tana thing was my.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Was my idea. Was my stupid idea.
Yeah.
I was the one
he suggested we can go to the place. It's just in San Francisco. I'm like, it is just in San Francisco.
Yeah, that drive and everything. And now I think back to it, I'm like, I can't believe we literally harassed an 18-year-old child.
Plus, Tana literally said she deserved that wake-up call.
He's really smart. He's really good at what he does. He's never and it took me a long time to realize that, because for a long time I was just like, why me? And then I realized it's you, because he never ever will make a content call about somebody who doesn't come for him first. And I didn't know that, and I was entitled.
But in what way did you come for him? You called him out for saying the N-word?
In a horrible way. I was stupid about it. I was really, and I tweeted him and was like, I can't believe you do that. I killed myself. Mean as shit.
You were 16?
Probably 16 or 17.
And you had a
Maybe
ton of
18,
followers, and you're calling out Idubbbz. That is pretty hilarious.
It was stupid. I was so wrong. But I deserved it 100%, and the content cop was good.
After this, Idubbbz goes on to say,
anyone who thinks that I should be shouting the N-word from the rooftops, I don't want to be your cup of tea.
Yeah, honestly, if my fan base was constantly harassing me and telling me to say the funny and F slur, I probably would want to disavow them too. Not everyone agrees with me though, as in response to this apology video, Kanye West, aka Hitler, wrote a song saying, I miss the old Idubbbz, the saying slurs Idubbbz, the content cop Idubbbz, no one can stop Idubbbz, I hate the new Idubbbz, OnlyFans wife Idubbbz, the boxing fight Idubbbz, the woke mind Idubbbz, and yeah, you get the point. Some people aren't happy about Idubbbz no longer taking part in saying the funny slurs, but I guess that's life. Part of growing up is realizing you don't have to follow the YouTuber route of saying slurs every 5 seconds to be funny. You can just use regular insults instead. Idubbbz then talks about how a few years ago he met a transgender fan who wanted a picture with him, but wasn't sure if he was okay with trans people or not, and how that was like a big wake-up call for him. He then discusses how he's been trying to come to terms with disavowing his old content for a while now. After that, he sort of calls his old audience basement dwellers, which I have no doubt is true for a lot of them, but regardless, it's a pretty demeaning thing to say to your entire audience. Especially since you complained earlier about how you were morally grandstanding in your content cop videos. This video still very much gives off that vibe. Idubbbbz then claims he has just now learned empathy at 30 years old.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because I just can't help myself but feel for other people's pain and suffering now.
Not only has Idubbbz gone woke, but he's also been kidnapped by the empath community, which means by making this video, we here at a Random Account Network may end up getting cancelled again by the empath community. Wish us luck. That was basically the video in a nutshell though, and it sparked a lot of debate and discourse throughout YouTube. Commentary YouTubers are telling him he fell off, which isn't exactly a lie, while leftist YouTubers are praising him for maturing as a person. Some people are milking the situation too by calling out every person who disagrees with them. What a productive way to spend your time. A good point that I saw brought up a lot though is that a lot of these leftist content creators that Idubbbz now associates with, like H3H3 and Hassan, aren't necessarily mature.
So there was a big protest outside the NRA meeting, which was good. Do we have any insight into what they're actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas? Someone should bomb that building.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
They are just as edgy as many other channels, but seem to get a pass because they are criticizing the right people. I've also seen a lot of people say things like, we live in a universe where Leafy won, which couldn't be farther from the truth. Ever since being banned, Leafy has fallen off hard. He now streams on Rumble, where he is constantly high, frequently talks to far-right figures like Nick Fuentes and Sneeko, can't stop talking about trans people.
These people saying that they're scared, and it's so sad, they're making it out like the Holocaust is coming for transgender people. And you know what? I think it should happen. I think there should be a transgender Holocaust. I think we need to round them all up, right, like cattle, into a big, area, a big farmland area, and then just burn them all.
What the is wrong with you?
And also leaked someone else's private nudes on stream.
Alright, this is what we're dealing with. That's Destiny's wife. Her nipples are kind of
This guy needs some serious help. Well, I was going to conclude the video here, but there's apparently been a major update on the Idubbbz situation, so I figured I might as well talk about that real quick. A few days ago, Idubbbz made a video titled The Harsh Reality of Creator Clash 2, where he explains that he lost around $250,000 running Creator Clash and there wasn't enough to give to the charities. This video sparked even more commentary videos clowning on Idubbbz and his recent bad PR stunts, but from my understanding of the situation, it seems like there was a lot of reasons Creator Clash 2 flopped. For starters, this event was marketed horribly. Idubbbz claims this is because he thought that the old viewers would just come back for the next event, so he didn't advertise it as much. He must have really not advertised it at all though, because I didn't even hear about the event till the Froggy Fresh drama happened, and that was mostly just people saying they were going to boycott the event now. Definitely not the best way to advertise. A lot of the fighters were also kinda irrelevant, to say the least, so most people weren't as interested in this event as the last one. Idubbbz claims there was also a big problem with illegal streams at this event, which lost them a lot of money as well. Moving forward, Idubbbz says he's going to try to take his failures into consideration so that if he does a Creator Clash 3, it'll, actually be successful. Much like the apology video though, this video felt a little off. At one point, he refers to boxing as trauma, which is kind of weird considering you get trained for months to handle that.
We did the fight, and then I went to bed. I got kicked out of me by Dr. Mike, and then I went to bed. And then I woke up, the hotel was empty, and then I got on a flight and traveled 5 hours with my face completely swollen back to Seattle. And I was like, that was cool. That was so worth it. There was nothing. There was no processing my trauma. There was no talking to anyone and relating about the experience afterward. Everyone was gone. And that felt awful.
Now, listen, I don't want to be one of those trauma gatekeepers who will go off about how you don't really have trauma unless you fought in 3 world wars. I understand there's a lot of nuance, situations affect people differently, but at some point you gotta stop calling it trauma, okay? Thank you. It seems like it's become a pattern in new Idubbbz videos for him to say some weird take that just leaves everyone confused or concerned. Anyway, Idubbbz then went on to do a stream to raise back some of the money he lost and linked a lot of charities to help them earn back some of the money they were promised. During that stream, Anisa exposed Idubbbz for having bad IBS, saying he constantly express himself.
I want to ask Radjor a question first.
Okay.
Radjor.
Wait, we should get Radjor in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
Well, if you can. I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always had, like, IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well.
Setting aside my general dislike for Anisa, why would you ever expose something extremely personal like this over a live stream? This is an extremely low blow and doesn't make you look any better for sharing it. Ian's reputation is already down the drain. Now he's just gonna get bullied even more. Also, he's your husband. You shouldn't be making digs at him like this if you're in a healthy relationship like you claim you are. People in healthy relationships don't go around exposing secrets like this because they have a thing called mutual respect for each other. If I was in this situation and my hypothetical wife leaked something like this about me, that'd be the last day we'd be together. Anyway, the stream ended up raising around 150k, so Idubbbbz put on makeup to celebrate, prompting Leafy to make a stream about how Idubbbbz went transgender. Idubbbbz then screen capped the tweet and quoted it saying, "Creator Clash 3, Makeup Idubbbbz versus transphobic Leafy. And not gonna lie, this would be epic." I'm not even really a fan of these boxing events, but even I'd pay to watch this. It probably won't end up happening because of Anisa, but I really hope it does. That would be pretty cool. Froggy Fresh also recently called out Idubbbbz for not linking his charity in his livestream, which Idubbbbz claims he only did because it wasn't verified properly. He then went on to tweet about how he now wants to box Idubbbbz and actually donate all the money to charity, which would be epic as well. But in conclusion, everyone wants to beat up Idubbbbz now, and with his current reputation, I think that's the only way Creator Clash 3 will be successful. I wish Idubbbbz the best of luck in processing all that, trauma, or whatever.